Hello, entrepreneurs. Thank you so much for joining my channel today. Today's topic is called, So You Want to Become an Author? Hello, entrepreneurs. Thank you so much for joining me today at Discovering Beautiful Minds. I'm Adrienne Edwards, and we're talking today about becoming an author. So let's just dig right in. You want to become an author. You decided, hey, I love writing, and I'm just going to go ahead and start writing a story. What does that really mean? Well, a lot of times in the beginning, as an author, myself, we believe that, it's just going to be seamless. You're just going to write, and then you're going to publish your book. Well, there are some things that you need to know beginning off as a writer, because that manuscript is not going to publish itself. There's hard work, dedication, and commitment. There are some things that you're going to have to do in order to get that manuscript published. One of the first things I want to talk to you today about being true to what you say that you're going to do. And what do I mean by that? Being true with, something that you said that you want to do. Have you ever decided, it's the new year and I'm going to exercise and, I'm going to lose like 10 pounds, and you're so pumped, and that first 2 weeks you're going. And then something happens within that third, fourth, fifth week. You start to slow down. You lose your momentum. You get unmotivated. You got to know that anything that you decide to do, you have to have commitment. You have to decide that, hey, this is something that, I said I really want to do, something that I'm passionate about. So I need to take steps in order to actually make this happen, because I don't want you to, think that becoming an author as a writer, it's going to be easy. It's not. It's going to be some things that you're going to have to do. So one of the things that you're going to have to do is make time. Sounds easy. I know, but it's really not. When you are already working and you're working a 9-to-5 job, or you're a parent and you're a spouse, your wife, or your husband, it's a lot of stuff that, is going to get in your way. And those things, let's just face it, they come first, right? So you have to know that even though you're working that 9-to-5 job, even though you may be married, even though you may have children, even though you may be a full-time college student, you still have to make a commitment to decide that this manuscript is just as important to me as working my 9-to-5, as taking care of my children, as being a spouse, as going to college and those classes, and committing myself to make sure that I have a high GPA. If you want to become an author, you have to decide to make the time. What do I mean by that? So you're going to make the time. How are you going to make the time? That leads me to the second thing that I want to tell you about. This is your second tip. So your second tip is to set a schedule. When you set a schedule, you're committing yourself to that schedule so that you know that, hey, I said that every day at 8 p.m. or say every day at 5 a.m. before you go to work or before you get up and get ready for school, that you're going to commit yourself to an hour of non-interrupted writing. If you decide not to use time, because some authors don't use time. They don't say, I'm going to take an hour out of my day or 2 hours out of my day. Some authors say that they will write until they reach a certain word count. So say, for instance, your word count is 1,500 words a day. If your word count to reach every day is 1,500 words a day, then you don't come out of that office, that space, that laundry room, wherever you're writing at. Don't come out until that 1,500 words is done. Now, that leads me to your third tip. You have to make sure that you treat your writing like a job. Why? Because you get up every day and you go to that job. You make sure that you're there on time. You make sure that you're there and working, and you're dedicated to that job before you punch out at the end of the day. Correct? Correct. Now, just like your writing is important, treat it like a job then. So when you treat your writing as a job, it's not just for you, it's also for other people. What do I mean? Well, I'm going to tell you. When you decide to make it a job, everyone else knows that that's your job. If you say every day from the hours of 8 to 9 p.m. I am unavailable, you have to do some things. You, one, have to tell your family and friends, these are my office hours and I will not be available during this time. This is the time that I'm dedicating to finishing my manuscript. And that means you have to turn your phone off. Or just put it in a different room. Some of us, it's hard to turn that phone off, right? You know, we're really living by these cell phones these days, right? So turn the phone off, or if you feel like, you know, I just can't have it around me, put it in a different room, okay? Make sure that phone is not in the same room with you. 2, make sure that when you set your time up, that you're not distracted by any television or any noise that is easily able to distract you. So for instance, when I have children, my children know when I'm writing that I have a sign on my door that it's writing time. So that means even in their bedrooms, which is further away from where I work at, they still can have their music playing loud. They, you know, when they're on their video games, they have to make sure that, you know, their voice is at a minimum. Because, you know, I don't know if you have children or not, but when they're on those video games, things can get pretty heated. So that being said, treat your manuscript like a job. If you treat it like a job, you're going to finish that manuscript. You also, number 4, have to stay motivated. That book is not going to write itself. No one else is going to write it unless you pay someone else to write it. And, you know, that defeats the purpose for most of us. Unless you're writing, you know, a memoir, you know, or you're writing a biography and you don't have the time to really put into it. So there are some people that, you know, do get other people to write their books for them. They're famous. So they don't have the time. But you have to make sure that you stay motivated, stay committed to your writing, because someone else may love that book. Matter of fact, someone else is going to love that book. And someone's going to say, thank you so much for writing this book. It really inspired me. It really helped me. It made me think. It made me change the direction of my life. You have so many people that's waiting on your manuscript to get published. So stay committed. Okay, entrepreneurs, make sure that you stay motivated. Okay, so treat it like it's a job. Make sure you're motivated to complete it. Make sure that you set a schedule. Make sure that you continue to write your manuscript. That being said, entrepreneurs, thank you so much for joining my channel today and tuning in. And if you found the content inspiring, if it was something encouraging for you to keep writing your manuscript, give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing and also hitting that notification bell so that you can get updates every time I post new content. Thank you so much, entrepreneurs. I will see you next time.